So this is going to be part of it. One society. How are we going to do this? Well, change is good. You first. So we're going to put the society out front, and we're going to work on, and we are working on getting better at providing services. The Chapter Partnership Committee, building on what's been done in years past, has been getting better about providing volunteer services to chapters. Some of you know directly the impact of having a call from the Chapter Partnership Committee. Hey, what is it going to take to get you guys to re-up with the new affiliation agreement? Hey, did you know about the free registration to the chapter conference? Send us in a list so that we can at least pick one person so they can get a benefit from that. Okay? So the society's going to have to get better at delivering services. But frankly, chapters are going to have to get better at supporting the society, because it can't be a one-way street. Gimme, 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 and the society get nothing from it. We're going to do this as a multi-year initiative. Now, 2015 sounds like a long way away, but the logic to that is that we have new affiliation agreements. The new one will be in 2011. How it's going to be different from our current one, I haven't a clue. That's part of what we're going to be working on. Well, what it'll be in 2013, different, I don't know how. And by 2015, we're going to have the whole thing in place. A guy can dream. How we're going to do it is we're forming a steering committee. In fact, the board voted just yesterday. Actually, it was an action item in which I'm tasked to form a One Society task force. They will be charged with drafting out a charter and delivering an action plan within 3 months. It'll be the plan to develop the plan. We're going to need your input on this. We're going to, the committee, and I've got a list of folks that I'm going after, and we've been trying to balance between trying to make it a large enough group to get a lot of input, but also small enough to get things done. It's going to be made up of folks that have clear chapter DNA in their bones and are directly affiliated with chapters, but it's also going to have folks that are involved with the society, because what comes out of this has to be something that we all can work with and function with and make a difference with. And we're going to practice this strange art of communication. We're going to try to make sure that you either, the ideal would be that you go, oh God, not more information about the One Society thing. I've heard so much about this. It's like boring already. But if we get to that level of you know what's going on, there's going to be no surprises. Okay? So that's where we're going with this One Society thing. And it's connected to this sense of the society ultimately makes a difference in the world. Chapters are the starting place for so much of that difference to happen, and this is the way that we connect the society and the chapters together so that we can achieve our vision. What questions do you have? How am I doing on time? Am I like ridiculous?
You're doing as well as the rest of us.
Okay. All right, so let me moving ahead. All right. So, pressing on here. Chapters of Award of Excellence. I'm supposed to talk about this. This is one of those things where back in the before time, we had a very involved chapter award of excellence. It was a very involved and very complex. The idea is to try to recognize chapter excellence. And what we have come to realize is, darn it, we ought to use this as a means to encourage the kind of behavior that we want to have go on. Now tell me that doesn't sound like a familiar concept. Don't you hate it when people try to apply our own technology to ourselves? Bunch of pious whatevers. Okay, so here's kind of the way we're thinking about this, is that the Chapter Award of Excellence can be a way for your chapter to define its vision about where it's going to go, and can be used as a means to sort of help you lay out your plan for how your chapter is going to go, and can be used as a tool to provide you with feedback and evaluation on how you're making progress. Okay? Nice concept, but how did this all come together? Well, first of all, the Chapter Award of Excellence, as it's now configured, and if you've got your Wonder Guide here, if you'll take a look on page 12, this information did not come from space. I know that previous versions of this award came from a lot of careful thinking, but when we looked at it, it looked like it had come from space. And I hope there was nobody here that was part of the committee that put that together. It was appropriate, I'm sure, for the time that it was there. We're in a new era. So this didn't come from space. Here you'll begin to see where all of this came from if you look a little further. And on the next tab, if you look on page 18, you'll see the chapter affiliation agreement. And in fact, and I know some of you are the types that if you've given printed words, you immediately start reading first word and won't stop until the end. But if you can restrain yourself and go over just one more page, you'll see the actual or services that the society provides. Now, this list of services the society provides came out of the fact that our chapter surveys said that chapters need help with program, marketing, and operational leadership support. We recognize that since chapters are key to succeeding with the society's vision and mission, that if we could provide these services, we can help chapters succeed. Okay? So that's why we put together this affiliation agreement the way we have, is because we believe that if we can provide this to chapters, then chapters will be in a place, and if you go over another page or two, in fact, you'll see on page 21, they talk about chapter obligations. And that's what we're asking chapters to do for us. So now the really scary leap, watch for the flash. We said, wouldn't it be cool if we tried to align the vision, mission, and all that gobbledygook along with what chapters need, and we put it into the affiliation agreement, and we want to try to drive certain behaviors, so let's recognize the behaviors we want to do. So let's create an award of merit that encourages chapters to do what it is we hope they will do and would do as a natural part. So if you'll jump back to the actual affiliation agreement, what you'll see there is, and I've lost my clicker. What you'll see there is that the award tracks very closely with the level of services that the chapter provides and with the obligations we ask chapters to fulfill. So in essence, what we're saying is the behavior we want to encourage you to do is we want you to go out, run your chapter the way you need to, deliver great programs that are linked to the 10 standards, create websites that support our brand, that provide links to the society, make it clear that you're all about human performance technology, and deliver on that promise, and we'll recognize you as an award of merit chapter, award of excellence chapter. So that's where those standards came from. And the other thing we ran into was, wait a minute, our main certification, the CPT, relies on the attestation of our clients, our customers. We trust our customers to tell us, yes, this person performed as we expected. So the next thought we had was, why don't we use the same sort of attestation with our chapters? I mean, if we can't trust you, who can we trust? So what we did there was we set it up so that the standards that are laid out are going to ask for the attestation of 10 chapter members. Now, the little twist we gave on it is we said, we trust our board members, but what we want to do is we want to reach out into the chapter and let the chapter know, the chapter members know, that the board members are not operating in space, that they're operating on the basis of some plan. So we're asking 10 of your chapter members who are not affiliated with the board to attest that the board, in fact the chapter, is operating this way. So what we hope is that will provide a gentle nudge to filter information down, so that potentially your little attestation group can say, hey, wait a minute, when's the last time we used a skillcast from headquarters as a program? Which we hope will encourage the kind of behavior you're looking for. Hey, wait a minute, we don't have a link on our website taking us to the society's website. Why don't we have that? So the chapter award of merit is in line with the affiliation agreement, which is in line with the vision, mission, and the research that we did to set all of this up. The mechanics of it, you can download the documentation from the Society's website under the chapter link. We ask that you form a non-board attestation group of 10. We also have, this is the thing that drives John crazy, is with things that headquarters knows about, we ask headquarters to sign off on, because why do you need to sign off on something that you've already done? So John's taking care of that. We ask your folks to do the evaluation and then send your documentation in by the end of October. And that's how you become a Chapter Award of Merit. So this year we went from 1 last year to now we have 3. And Mark, do you know which 3 of those are?
Michigan, Kansas City, Colorado.
Okay. And what we'd like to see is next year we have 28 active chapters. We'd like to see 28, 30 Chapters Award of Merit, because in my mind, all chapter members deserve to have an excellent chapter. John, you?
Armed Forces is also part of that group.
Oh, so we're 5.
We're always a part of that group, so it's easy to forget. Armed Forces, Michigan, and Front Range or chapters there. Kansas is chapter communication.
Excellent. Okay, that's another award. Okay. So what questions do you have? Because Gary and Rose are probably going, oh, yay! Yes.
Are we able to get copies of these slides?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think another thing to add, Paul, is even if you're not going for the award, these criteria are the handbook on how to run the chapter. So even if you're beginning day 1 of how to run the chapter, become familiar with these criteria and start just building the chapter to them. And by default, you'll be excellent. And that's such a great segue.
Okay, and I think I'm being, hang on, let me deal with 2 more questions and then you can give me the bums rush, Rose.
Because presenting a program on the 10 standards, so
Mhm.
one of the criteria, it'd be great to have a central place to look at innovative ways of doing it.
Okay. There is a presentation that the CPT committee has put together on elevator speeches for that.
Great, but if you're doing an hour-and-a-half program,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah.
Okay. Great. And when you've got one, send it in. And we're looking for content for the site.
Actually, since I just attended it, there is actually one being developed.
Funny you should mention it.
Seattle put together a really great way to do HPP and non-HPP. And that's being developed into something by the Shell Group. They'll get into the HPP model.
So what? Yeah, and seriously, what we'd like to have is this awesome. I mean, this is that knowledge management piece. I don't doubt that a number of chapters have developed the awesome 10 standards presentation. It now sits in somebody's hard drive somewhere, and we need to send that to John. We'll figure out how to. There is a CPT program. Okay. Send your cool stuff to John. We're going to post it up on the central website, and as we develop a better knowledge management system and a better web system, I mean, what I'd like to be able to see is I'd like to see that if we say we all had chapters with sort of connected websites, you know, you could have content that may live on different servers in different places, but that it would be accessible to wherever. And it could be, I don't know if it's available to members or everybody in the world, stuff to be worked out. Devil's in the details. One last question, then I'm out of here because Rose and Gary will throw me out bodily if I go on too much longer.
Is there a link to this mechanics download, upload, and update on the main page?
Where is the awards? Okay. I'm done. Thank you. Good night. God bless us. Floating around, looking for ideas. I steal ecumenically, and better ideas, thoughts. Also, if we haven't already, I need to introduce the new Chapter Partnership Committee Board Liaison, Don Papaya. I'm technically winding up my term as the liaison to the Chapter Partnership Committee, going to be the board liaison for an additional year on the One Society piece. But Dawn and I and John and Mark and Gary are all going to be forming the dynamic duo. You know how the Three Musketeers went from 3 to 4, you know, in those movies? That's kind of how we are. And we're thinking about thigh-high boots.
No.
No?